Hello everyone, this is Ramesh Sharma here. Till now, we have done the project setup and also we have done the GitHub setup. If you don't know about this, how to do that, please watch my previous videos first, then come here. In this video, we are going to set up the basic router provider. In the React Router DOM, what we have, the browser router. So same type of router provider. So we will not name it as a browser router. So we will name it as a router. So that thing we are going to do in this video. So what actually is a browser router? A browser router is actually a store. So you can consider it as a store. Like whenever you are installing React Router DOM in the React, then you have to enable this browser router or any other router. You can pick any other router such as hash router. Some of you must have used the hash router and also memory router. Then we are simply using the router as well, but this router we are not using in this one. We are like sometimes we use this, and after that we have routes and we have route as well. So that these are actually the components, and routes is also a component. Those we are also going to create. But in this video, we are just going to create the browser router and it's act like a store, and you have all information about the routes and about all the algorithms, and from this browser router only we are going to create all the hooks. So this one is the most crucial part of the videos, like this one or the next few parts will be there, so where we are going to set up the routes. But in this video just there will be like you can see that we are going to create a model of the browser router, and then from the next videos our things are going to be in the shape, so where our functionality is going to be working. But now in this video there will not be a functionality, but we are going to create the browser router. We are going to set up our store for all the routes data. So how we are going to set up this store? So we are going to set up this store using state management, and that we are going to do with the help of context API. Yeah, in this video you are going to learn about the concept of context API. So we are going to do that. Now, if you don't know about the context API, so I'm going through this React.dev. So you should also know about the documentation. Like this React.dev is a very great documentation. I will leave all the links in the video description for this browser router as well as for this one. So why there is a need of context API? So context API actually is acting like a store. So as you listened about like Redux, so these are all the state management things are there. So we are managing the states. So we have one problem in the React. So whenever like we want to pass the data to our child component, or we want to pass the data from from parent to child component, or one component to the another component, so then we always have to pass it through the props, and sometimes the data like passing the data becomes so much complex, so that it's like nearly impossible to do that complex task. So that's why but to manage all the states, what we do, we create a context API. So context API is acting like a provider, data provider for us. So which like will act like one store, and it will be common for all the components. Any component can use that and data will be saved until like you do not refresh your page. So this that's why we are using the context API here. So here you can see that there is a concept called the prop dealing, prop drilling. Prop drilling is the same thing. Here you can see, first of all, we have a state here. We have created a state, and then we have two child components, and there we are passing a data. This one is just like we are passing from the component parent to component, and it's on the like first level. But when you have to pass like multiple data, you have to share lot of data, then you have to pass this data to here, then to here, then here, from here it will go here. These all, like these things will be dependent on these components. So this means that like you are drilling the props, you are passing the props from parent to child, then to the sub child, then next child, then next child. So this is known as prop drilling. So we have the issue of this one. So context API is the alternative for that. So that's why we are creating the context API here. So just we will have one provider. So we will create the provider, and there it will act like a store for us. That will be common. That will be the shared store, and that will be the common store for every component. Same as our browser router will work. So we will create a browser router, and its name will be the router, and that browser router will act like a store for our routing. So it will manage all the routing through that. So now, without wasting any time, let's get into the coding section and do not make this video long. So we are going to simply create a basic context API, and after that we are just going to embed that. And there is nothing regarding the functionality for now in this video. So functionality will start from the upcoming video. So if you know about the context API, that's great. You can still follow me to see how I will set up this router. So simply basic router we will set up. That's it, basic context API for the router. And for now we are going to work with the array, and then I will tell you the problem with the array, and after that we are going to have the video for the that one radix tree as well, and then we are going to step by step we are going to move to that one, and I don't want to rush anything, so please bear with me. So we are under the coding section here. So here I'm in the source folder. First of all, let's close this all. I'm going to close this all. Let me zoom it a bit. So here we are going to create one new folder. So that folder inside the library, and that will be for our data. And here let's remove this. Instead of this, I'm going to add the providers. And in the providers, what will be there? Providers will be like P capital, small. And here we will have one provider, so that will be the router dot tsx. So it will be the tsx, as we are going to create the component here. So here we are going to import the few things first from the React. So first thing we are going to import, so that will be the use state, and then we need the use effect as well, and after that we are going to import the create context. That's it. And after that here we are going to create the type here. So let's create the interface, and it will be for our context type. So for now, just we are going to send first of all routes we are going to send, and that will be of type not string, but we are going to create a type for this one as well. So let's first of all create all the types here. So then we are going to move these types in the separate folder. So here will be type route, and let's do this. And here the route type will be, first of all we need the path. We should have that path for that particular route, and then we have the path here, and now we have to see if it is an exact or not. Is exact path, or let it be exact, and it will be a boolean. And also we need the component as well. So let's write the component, and component can be of the react.component type, or it can be the element type, or it can be like JSX element. That's it. And next we need, so here what thing can be there, also this can be of type like react fc, so that we will do it later on, that's not a problem. And then here we are going to have the params as well, and what type of params are there, so that we are going to see. And param will be of type string, as we in the future we need the parameters as well to pass. Now let's move further and let's see what extra we need. We have path, we have component, we have params, if it is a exact or not. And then let's pass one thing, active, like which route is active. So that we are going to pass. That's it. And by default, the active will be default and just this thing. Okay, and later on we can pass more thing like what is like active class. So let it be like, let's add this thing as well, active class. Okay, so we can pass like this. So now we have the route here, routes are here. And after that we are going to pass few things such as test set routes. And in the set routes, for now we will have this type of function only. Later on, like, we will have the state. So let's add the state only, react dot dispatch, and there will be a state and it will be of type route. For now we will add these two things only. uh, I think we should add the push state as well. So push will be there, and here will be the path string, and after we will have the state as well. So state will be like anything can be there. For now let's do it as any. So here we are getting the error, like it is not the error, just it's the issue with the ESLint. How to solve this one? If you want to allow any, mainly any is not preferable. uh, we will create the types later on, but here we are going to like prefer any here. So for that, to remove this warning, what we are going to do, so we are just going to allow the any. That we are going to do under the tsconfig.app. So here we will write no explicit, no implicit any, no implicit any, and we are going to set this one as null, and our all problems will be solved. uh, it's not solved yet. Let me restart the server, control shift P, and here restart the TS server. So our TypeScript server is getting restarted. Let's see if we get rid of this any or not. Yeah, we are not able to get rid of this. Let's do one thing. I'm going to copy this, and after that let's go to the tsconfig node, and here I'm going to paste this. Now it should get away, but still it's not getting away. Let's see what we can do here. Source and for all, save it. Okay, that's not a problem. Let's do like this. Let it be a object is not a generic. Let's create a type for this one then. Type, here we have a state, and that type will be like only key string type. That's it. Key string, let it be like any, not a problem. We will deal with this later on. I don't know, it should work with this one, but due to some issues it's not working this. But we have the second thing as well. So what you can do, so you can just write like this. So you can write the comment above this line, TypeScript ESLint no explicit any. And we can also do this thing in the ESLint config. So let's try it here. So we are going to try the same thing as mentioned in the command in the ESLint, and just we are going to make it off. TypeScript ESLint no explicit any. So it will be off. Now let's try to remove this. It should work now. Boom. So it's working now. We have no more error, no more warning of that one. That's great. So just you have to go to the eslint.config.es, or there can be .eslintrc file. In the rules, you have to type this TypeScript dash eslint no explicit any, and it should be off. So I think for now, this should be enough for the interface. Let's start creating our context API, and we are going to import our context. And by default, it will be the like we are creating the context using the create context here. And what is the difference between create context and use context? So create context is used to create the context API, whereas use context is used to use the context API. So that one is generally a, you can say that it's a type of hook. And now using this context, we are going to create a provider. So that provider we will add in the main.jsx file as we do for the browser router. So here, let's create that. We are going to export that as well. Export const, and there will be a browser router. And one more thing. Also, we need to add the children's here. Let's add those. Here we have a children, and that will be of type React node. And here in the React FC, we will add this I router context type. So this will be our provider here. And here we have the children's. Now what we are going to do, we are going to set up some state here for the routes. So we have the same state like this one, because we have to send this, and we have the set routes as well. That's good thing. And then we need one function, so that is will be used to push from one to like another state. So here let's do that. So we are going to create a push function. So this push function, what it will do, so it will do like if we are going to push to the history, we are using the history API of window, and then after that we are just pushing the state with the path, and this will be by default null. So in the push state, what we have, if we need to pass any state, that we can do, and this push state will not refresh our page. So this push state will not refresh our page, but when we are changing the h reference, that is window.location.h-reference, so then it refreshes the page. But this push state will never do that. It's just changing the state. If we are pass, we can use like unused pass any string like that one. And after that we have this URL in which we have to like change the URL. And then we are just dispatching the event, that is a new event, the pop state. So we are like popping the state, and after that we are doing that. But I don't think so we need this for now, so I'm going to close this. And here we are going to use the use effect, so that will actually run with the window. So it will run as window.location.pathname. Like whenever the window will change, like that type of thing, you can say that whenever there is a location will change, so this type of thing will run. But we are not going to do that. We are going to add the event listener. What event listener will be there? So window dot add event listener whenever there will be a event of the pop state. So then just for now we are just consoling the pop state here, and that's it. And we are removing this one as well. So like whenever we are going back, then it means that, or we are navigating through, so this means that we are popping the state. Popping the state means that what I can say, like from one route you are moving to the second route. So but it means that like you are changing the state. So first of all, like you will pop the previous state, and then you will add that another state. So this is means like this one. And after that, what we are going to do? So we are going to just return, and here we are going to use router context the provider. We are using this, and after that we are using the values that we need to pass, means we need to show them, and that's it. This one is the our context API. So we are done with the basic structure of our context API. It's not completed yet. We are going to do a lot of things with this one. So it's just a start. We will move step by step. We will not do all things in the like same video. So it will be like so much long. We are going to learn one by one. And regarding this one, don't panic. So this one is a easy concept, and in the like upcoming video, you can say that in the next video you will learn about this one, because in the next video we are going to set up the routes, and we are going to create one link component, and there you are going to know the value of this thing, and we have commented this as well, so you will get to know the value of this thing as well. So let's go to the hooks, and let's create one hook here. How you are going to use this context API? So we are going to use this context API in two ways. One, directly to the main, and that is mandatory, and then we are going to create the hooks as well. Actually this not be a router provider, so this will be just router. Yeah, this will be just router. And then let's go to the hooks, and here create one thing. uh, let's create one hook, so that is use router, use router.ts, not user router, so it will be use router, and it will be of tsx. Okay, so user router.tsx is there, and here we are going to import few things. And first of all, the thing we will import, so that will be the router context from the providers, and then we are going to pull one thing from the React, so that is import use context from React. So we have the context that we have created, and we have the thing with the help of that we are going to use that. Just let's export this user router, and in this one we are going to just use the context, and if context is not there, so we are just going to say please add the router provider in the main.tsx file, and the same thing is done by the browser router for the React router DOM. Export all from the user router. That's great. And now let's test it. Now let's test it if this hook is working, or our router is not router, like our context API is working or not, if we are getting this error or not. So first of all, let's try with the user router. I'm going to the app.tsx, and here let's import the user router. Import user router. So I've done that, and just from the hooks I will import it. Let's use router hooks slash hooks. That's great. And from here what I'm going to do, so I'm going to use this. Let's use this like this, and I'm going to save it. We should get an error now. Let's see. Let's go here, and you can see that everything is white, and here we have the error. You can see the error here. User router must be used within a router. So you have to use the router provider, otherwise it will not happen. So let's do that then. Let's go to the main.tsx file, and here I'm inside the main.tsx file, and from here we are going to import router from providers, and let's use that. Inside the strict mode, we are going to use the router and we are going to pass the app here. Children is missing, so children element should be there. Yeah, it's jsx dot element. Let's see, we have some typing issue here. Let's go to the providers, and here yeah, it's not, or let it be jsx dot element. That's it. So we should get rid of this error. Okay, we are getting like it is missing this type of thing. Oh, it's my bad. I was using that fc there. I should not use that. Let's do one thing. Here we are going to create one more interface I router props, and here we are just going to pass the children, and we are going to use this here. I router props. That's it. So we are getting rid of that error. So now we have the children here. That's great. Now we have this one as well. We should not have any error. Boom. This one is really working perfectly. So now we have the router here. Let's try to console log it. Console log the router, and let's go here. See, here we have a children and all the children those we are passing, and after that we have the push as well. We have the access to the routes. We have access to the set routes as well. This is working amazingly. So we have done the basic setup for this context API for our browser router. So that is known as router for us. So for today, this is enough. If you have any queries, please comment in the comment section. I will definitely respond to that. And last, thanks for watching. And in the next video, we are going to set up the routes. So we are going to modify this, and from the next video, our main coding will start. So please bear with me. Please like, subscribe, and share. At last, thank you for watching.